Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk to Satv, where we dive into the deep discussions of most pressing global and national issues. Today, we have amongst us Ms. Cynthia Mela, the country director of the Agence Française du Développement, AFD, in Bangladesh. She has been in Dhaka since 2024, July 2024, and brings with her more than 15 years of experience working in the development sector. She's working with AFD for 15 years, including France, Mauritius, Philippines, and Niger as a country director. Ms. Mela began her journey in AFD in the year 2026 and has developed a strong expertise in capacity building as well as in supporting transformation in public sectors. Well, she holds a master's degree in political science from Political Studies Institute of Bordeaux, France, and definitely it's an absolute pleasure, Ms. Mela, to have you on our show. Let us begin with a very simple question that our viewers would love to know. Well, they would love to know about AFD. What does they do over here? We know they're here for over a decade. Well, could you briefly explain its global mission and how Bangladesh, fits into this AFD's strategic priorities?
So good evening, and thank you for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to explain what AFD is, which is not always so obvious, I would say. AFD, first of all, we have to understand that this is the French Development Bank, a financial institution that provides financial support in solidarity investment to align with global challenges, mainly climate issues, but also inclusive growth and any development issues for the countries. So we provide financial resources in different aspects. We have different financing tools to our partners. Our main partners are the governments in the different countries, but we also work with a wide range of stakeholders, private sector, other donors, of course, NGOs, CSOs. So we are a global partner working as a bank to provide financial resources and expertise. This is for the global mission. We have operations in more than 150 countries in the world. In Bangladesh, why in Bangladesh? Actually, since 13 years we have been here. We have Bangladesh is a unique partner because it has a unique setting, I would say. There are not so many countries that lie at the front line of the climate effects.
Challenges as well.
Yes, challenges, many challenges in this country. Adaptation issues, social issues, economic crisis, especially now. And so you have these critical issues, but at the same time, in this country there is a huge potential for growth and development. You have a very committed youth, civil society. So these two challenges, this offer a unique combination of challenges and growth, potential growth. This is where AFD wants to support Bangladesh, because we want to support the country in transforming your challenges into opportunities. This is why we are here, and we have been financing, I'm sure we will discuss that a bit later, but we have been financing since the last 13 years over more than 2 billion euros we have invested with the government of Bangladesh, of course, in the country.
Well, as you have said, that we have enormous challenges, environmental challenges, the population challenges, problems that it's full of problems, but still we have a huge youth population. What you see opportunity, we Bangladeshis, we see them as an opportunity as well. And often Bangladesh is described a development success story. So do you really believe that, or do you contradict with it?
That's a sensitive question.
Yes, because you have worked in 4 different countries as a country director.
Yeah.
Well, their challenges were different, but here these are like global challenges as well as internal challenges as well. So do you see because despite having those problems, they have successes that could be minor, that could be major, well, from different perspective. But what do you think? That is it really development success story, or it's been reiterated or overrated?
For Bangladesh.
For Bangladesh, of course.
I've not been here for long, so I will tell you from my perspective after 1 year and a half. Before I came to Bangladesh, when I was offered the position in Bangladesh, I was told that it was a success story.
Okay.
Because you had 15 years of economic growth, double-digit growth, and it's true that even all the indicators, the social indicators, seem to be
very
increasing. High. Yes, even more than India, I heard at that time. So, yeah, before I arrived, I had this image of Bangladesh, and you were on a increasing track. I arrived on July 18 in Bangladesh. That was my first day in Bangladesh. So it was in the middle of the revolution. The rainy season and the revolution.
And the revolution as well.
Of course. After that, there was this shift. Of course, it's the
transition of
transition,
power.
Yeah. And also a shift in how we can see Bangladesh. Now I think we are finding out that the growth that you have had was maybe focused on one sector, the RMG sector, and that economy has to be diversified. Economy has grown, for sure, but it's not.
It's one-dimensional.
And then it cannot absorb the crisis.
Exactly.
It cannot absorb shocks.
Exactly.
So it's a kind of, I wouldn't say, maybe it's a bit too hard, but it's a fake growth.
True.
Because it happened. I'm not saying the contrary. But now you can see how easily it can collapse. So it's not a sustainable growth. In that sense, that's why I'm saying it's fake, because then it means that any shock you will have, you will collapse and you will have to raise again all the time. And it's true that Bangladesh is a very resilient country, but maybe it would be good for people to finally sustain and be able to thrive. And this is the challenge now for Bangladesh. This country is amazing because everything is possible. You should be ahead of everything, of many things. But you are somehow laid back because, I don't know, because of what? Because I have been here only for 1 year and a half, and maybe the Bangladeshi, they know more than me. But now I think it's time to really tap into your potential and to kick up.
Raise the standard.
Yes, raise the standards. Also be more inclusive, because you have such a diversity of people, potentials, opportunities. This is where your real treasure is, in your people, and this is where the country has to invest now. Maybe less in infrastructure, because you already have huge infrastructures. Maybe try to have them resilient to climate change and to climate change effects, but invest in your people. This would be the main message now.
Well, as you have said, Bangladesh should look for sustainable development, and AFD always inclines towards long-term development rather than short-term development. You have said that we had significant growth in terms of infrastructure, but as a country, as an economy, it's not resilient, and it's been proved again and again. So how AFD is suggesting to go for long-term development, because that is their prime purpose, and to help or go for the long-term development for its partner countries?
Yeah, that's actually the question that not only AFD should answer, but the first thing is that in cooperation we are two. There are two hands to clap. So we have AFD, and we have, of course, the government and the population that we want to support. So I would say the first thing that is very important to be sustainable is to have this ownership by the authorities, by the government, by the population, to understand where they want to go
Exactly.
What is their vision? As a society, where do you want to go? What do you want Bangladesh to be in 10 years, 20 years for your children? And this, AFD cannot do anything.
Of course.
We can always support if needed, but it has to come from the country, from Bangladesh. And then AFD can align to that. AFD can support and can accompany. Now, if I have to take AFD side, I would say in this country, you have a very beautiful environment. You have a unique ecosystem with these rivers, with the ponds, with the mangroves. And I would say that if you want this, your growth and economic to be sustainable, you really have to replug to your ecosystem. Because if your ecosystem dies, like some rivers, it will be very difficult for the country to sustain, even survive. So I can understand that there are some short-term emergencies, like the oil crisis. Or but a sustainable development has to take into account the whole ecosystemic vision of the country.
Yeah, you have worked in 4 countries as a country director. How do you find it different from Mauritius, Philippines, and Niger, your experience in other countries? Does it look like that people over here are a bit discombobulated because they don't understand what to do, or they need more awareness? Or if I ask personally, because you have a personal experience over there, what is going wrong over here?
Okay, don't worry, it's going wrong everywhere.
Exactly.
Not only in Bangladesh.
Exactly.
The specificity of Bangladesh after the 3 or 4 countries where I worked, I'm not sure if it's really a specificity, but I would say the governance issue. But you have governance issues in many other countries, but governance here really has to take into account the population wish. And the youth you have is really committed, and I was surprised. I told you I arrived on the very day of the revolution, and I didn't understand what was happening. And I said, wow, they are very courageous. And I don't have anything to say on the political side and everything, but just seeing these young people raising for a cause, no matter the cause, and I will not judge that.
And it proves that they love their country.
Yeah. And
exactly.
Yes, and this is quite unique. I have not seen that in other countries.
Exactly. You're a student of political science, so
yeah,
they're very politically conscious, so they raise their voice against corruption and against malgovernance.
Ill governance, yes.
Of course.
And this could be and should be taken into account by the authorities and the administration of this country, because the young people are the future of this nation. They are the future leaders of the nation, future leaders of the world, everywhere in the world. So they have their voice. They should say what they want in the future. And this maybe is very specific to Bangladesh, and this should be turned into an opportunity to open the space for discussion, to share this vision, and to embark the vision of the young people also. To support Bangladesh in its growing path. So I would say that this youth commitment is quite specific to Bangladesh compared to the other countries where I worked.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to go on a break. Please do come back. After the break, we will discuss a lot more about AFD and Bangladesh partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk to Satv again. Well, before the break, we were discussing, and Cynthia was telling us about how we should, diversify our economy, because we are too much one-centric in terms of our economic growth. And she was hope. She has a big hope, and we are hoping as well that the big youth population that we do have, it has opportunities, and it has expectations, and it has courages as well. And how she had after coming over here, how she found that the courages of the young generation, and how that has astonished her. Well, Cynthia, the climate finance remains a major global problem over here. Especially it's one of the major global challenges that we are facing, especially the developing countries like Bangladesh. So what roles the institutions like AFD can play in bringing the financing gaps for countries like Bangladesh?
Definitely, there is still a financing gap, because the needs are huge, and the money is less and less, especially now with all the global crises you may have, and the wars, typhoons, climate disasters. So we have to deal with a lot of issues with less and less money. So definitely the gap is here and will remain. What institutions like AFD can do is that first we can still provide funds to help bridge the gap, but it will definitely not be enough, because AFD is tiny even compared to bigger donors. But we can also leverage this financing. Leverage means we try to mobilize from other partners, multilateral donors, for instance. We can team up with them to make a huger amount. We can also help mobilize the private sector, because private sector still has they have their part to play. They have their role to play in this climate finance, because they will also be the victim of the climate change effects, but they can also be the solutions. And the other role that AFD can play is that we can also be the bridge to innovative funds, like the Green Climate Fund, for instance, or some funds with the European Union. So because we are in the middle of these different stakeholders, we can play the role of the platform to support the countries and the stakeholders to access to these funds. Additionally to giving some funds, of course, or lending some funds. So we can help in these two ways, providing funds and mobilizing funds.
Well, AFD always promotes 100% Paris Agreement. And they do alignment with it as well. You have already invested a lot, especially in Shitaloka water treatment project by Wasa, and it was about 1.8 million, I guess. Euros. So
1.8 million. It was more than that.
Okay, it is more than 1.8 million, of course. So it is a huge investment.
Yeah.
There are brick fields over here and there, and that industrial waste that goes directly into the river. So how do AFD selects the project that aligns with the 100% Paris Agreement?
That's a good question. First, the way AFD selects the projects. First, we maintain a very regular dialogue with the government of Bangladesh, and we finance only priorities of the government of Bangladesh. So it's not AFD deciding we will finance that, we will finance this. So first we have this dialogue, this negotiation with the highest authorities of the countries, and then so they send us some requests. So we want to finance this project, we want to invest in that area, in that sector. How can you support? Once we have negotiated, I would say, we have internal review in AFD with our colleagues in Paris, because we have some very strong criteria on climate co-benefits, for instance. All our projects must have climate co-benefits. So I would not go through in the details of all the criteria, but there is a very thorough review by our specialist in Paris, and it happened here that some of the projects don't meet the criteria, and then we say okay, we cannot support this project, so let's find another one. To come back to the Saidabad water treatment plant. The first intake was indeed in the Shitaloka River. It was 10 years ago, because it's a very long process and project to build a water treatment plant. And this one we co-finance. We are not the only ones. For the Saidabad water treatment plant, we are with the KfW, the German cooperation, with the EU, European Union, and with the Denmark. So it's a Team Europe project. So 10 years ago, 8 or 10 years ago, I don't remember, I was not there, we started the financing of this water treatment plant with the intake in the Shitaloka River. And then over the years, of course, this river got more and more polluted by industrialization on the banks of the river, textile factories, but not only, industrial waste. And then it became more and more difficult to produce quality water, to clean the water once it's taken from the river. So then the government came and asked us to complement and to shift the intake from the Shitaloka River to the Meghna River, which is still not too much polluted, I would say. And there we put a condition. All of us, the co-financiers, we said, okay, of course, we cannot leave this water treatment plant with this polluted water. So we are okay to finance the new intake in the Meghna River. But you, as a government, you have now to commit that you will protect the surface waters of this river, this Meghna River. Because otherwise, what will happen? Then in 10 years, we will do the same and then you will not have other rivers. So if you want to reduce your dependence to the groundwater that is totally depleting, and if you want to shift to surface water, you have to protect the surface water. So this is a condition. So it's not a criteria, but it's a condition to accept the financing. This top-up, as we call it, we put some 100 million top-up, additional 100 million euros. We said, okay, but now we are following up very closely with the government, the Meghna River Master Plan. That is a condition to disbursement. It means that we will not give the full amount in a row, but then they have to show and to give evidence that they protect, that the Department of Environment will do the unexpected monitoring, for instance, or they will do the audits, or they will follow up on that. So this was not a criteria, but this is a condition.
There is an increasing debate about the loss and loss and damage financing. So how do you see development agencies contributing to these factors?
This, for me, it's too early, I would say, to have a feedback and to understand what can be done. Of course, AFD and friends can contribute to this fund, like many other donors and many other countries. And we must contribute, because the solidarity on this loss and damage is obvious. But I would say the contribution of the countries like Bangladesh should take the ownership of this kind of funds, because they are the ones affected first. They are the ones who have the solutions. They are the ones who need the funds. So we can contribute financially, but for the content, for the programs, it has to be owned by the countries who need it. And Bangladesh should be, for me, Bangladesh should lead these programs or contributions to the loss and damage fund. They should start the discussions with them. And I think that's the case. From the discussions I could have, the government has already started the discussions with the fund, loss and damage fund. But I think everybody's trying, because it's very new. So still people are trying to see and adjust how they can be not too bureaucratic, not too difficult to access, because this is one of the main issue of climate finance. It's not easy to access. And so the loss and damage funds should not go into these complex modalities. So I think they are still trying to adjust these modalities for access to funds.
Well, do you think the current global climate financial mechanisms are adequate, or do you think we need a structural change in that format?
Definitely, they are not fully adequate. At least they exist. It's already a good start. And after all these years of experience and the feedback we can have now is that, yeah, as I was just mentioning, the access is not easy. It's not easy to understand where to knock, at what door. So access is difficult, very bureaucratic, that I must admit. We are part of it. It's also quite fragmented. There are many initiatives, many funds lying here, there. So you don't know where to access. And the main issue, I would say, for that is governance and coordination. And this, still, I will come back to that, but it has to be addressed by the authorities of the country, by the national authorities. This is their responsibility. They are accountable for this. They have to organize the coordination. They have to ease the access. They have to demand to the donors to make it more simple. Because, sometimes we can have a tendency to overthink. People are in Paris or in Washington or in Frankfurt, in Brussels. They don't know the countries. They are not, okay, we are here, but... So the countries really have to stand for their rights and stand for their demands and request that these funds have to be more accessible, more easily accessible, and in a coordinated manner. And this, for me, is a huge challenge for the climate finance, how to coordinate. It will solve many issues if we manage to coordinate at the national level of the country.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Cynthia was discussing that how 100% Paris Agreement alignment is made, because she has given us an example about the Shitaloka River, and then later on it's been shifted to Meghna River, the project, and the accountability, that how it's been ensured, because there is a mechanism that the funds will come phase by phase. So this is how they operate, and we will discuss a lot more about it after the break. Do come back after the break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk to the Satv, sponsored by Grand Palace Hotel and Resort. Well, Cynthia, what about the renewable energy? Bangladesh is moving towards sustainable renewable energy. So what do you think about it, and how can international partners help this transformation of energy for Bangladesh?
I think this is a very accurate question, especially now, currently, because of the oil crisis. Before answering your question, I will just raise this paradox that maybe we need to think. Is now that we are facing this oil crisis in Bangladesh, government urges donors to find ways and means to access to this fast and easy energy that is fossil fuel. And this goes, of course, against the long-term vision, long-term objective to reduce the dependence to this kind of energy and to switch to renewable energy. So right now, we are at this tipping point or paradoxical situation where we want to get out of this fossil fuel, and then still request for it. So energy is definitely a very huge challenge. Renewable energy has to increase everywhere in the world, not only in Bangladesh. And what we try to do at AFD, we don't have so many projects. We don't finance so many projects in energy yet, but we try to work with the government on two legs. The first leg is the production, the energy production through renewable sources. And the second one is energy efficiency, meaning that you produce energy but with less carbon emissions. So for this, we work with the DPDC, the Dakar Power Distribution Company in Dakar, yes, to stabilize and secure and strengthen the grid. Because once you inject the power in the grid, if your grid is not sustainable, is not strong enough to absorb this power, then you can have as much power as you want, but then you will not be able to distribute it safely. So these two legs are very important. Producing green, I would say green electricity through renewable energy, and then strengthening your grid, strengthening the network so that it can absorb the energy and also expand the network to give access to this electricity to everybody, including low-income communities. Access to energy is a challenge for economy, for business, and for social inclusion. So these two legs we try to work with the government.
Okay, as you have discussed, the distribution and the coherence that should be ensured first. Do you think that Bangladesh has the capacity now to move towards green energy, or what are the structural barriers that we do have? Because we have a lot of structural barriers as well towards moving 100% towards green energy. So do you think Bangladesh is ready, or they will need time?
I think it hampers accountability in the
country as well,
in the sector. Yes, and then it hampers the efficiency.
Exactly.
But I'm not sure this is really diplomatically correct to say that on air.
No,
but I don't know the sector enough
to
tell you about the barriers and everything, because we have not worked so much on that.
So do you have any plan to work on supporting employment? Because you have reiterated again and again that we have a huge youth, especially the skill development of the youths and the social inclusion in Bangladesh. So do you have any plan, or are you engaged in any project that promotes the youth development and skill development, capacity development?
Yeah, thank you very much for this question, because actually the portfolio of AFD over the last decade has been very much, I told you, infrastructure, water and sanitation, power, electricity, municipal infrastructure, local infrastructure. And now is the time for me to shift to investing in human capital. We have done that during COVID. We had this budget support so it was mainly on health, budget support to support the government. Now, definitely, we need to shift to skills development, mainly through TVET, because the education sector, primary education, there are already many donors working on that, and the government already has even if the budget is still too low, but TVET and the skills development is really key to bring the young people on the market, on the job market. So we have started exploring which sector in TVET we could support, and so far we have reached the conclusion that we could support the TVET in agriculture sector, because this primary sector is vital for the country, especially to ensure food for the population, and also agriculture is a challenge with climate change effects.
Exactly.
So how you build a sustainable agriculture, for that you need to have skills. So this sector we will start the discussions with the government very soon to see how we can support skills development in the agriculture sector.
Okay.
This is one. And then second, on inclusion and on social inclusion is, France has a very strong feminist diplomacy.
Exactly.
This is something that is very important and dear to us. Because we believe that women, it's not that they are better than men, of course, but they have been left behind for so long. And now it's time to embark them, because you cannot develop a society when you left behind half of the population. And we need a little bit of more different point of view, and women can bring this different point of view, different vision. So embarking them, empowering them is very important. So in AFD, because of this French strong feminist diplomacy, we have a commitment to streamline women empowerment and women women activities in all our projects. So we provide technical assistance to the ministries or to different institutions to really take into account and target women more in their programs to enhance their role in the society.
That's wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, Cynthia has provided us a video. Well, it's about why we should love this planet. And I think this video will depict that why we should love our planet Earth. So let us play the video first, then we will again come back to the show and talk with her.
I can never forget the first time that I saw a photograph of planet Earth from space. A small green and blue globe surrounded by the cold, dark immensity of outer space. So beautiful, so fragile, so alone. The fantastic images from NASA bring many thoughts to mind. Firstly, we live on a planet that is filled with so much beauty, from tropical forest to alpine meadow, from desert to wetland, from mighty ocean to mountain stream. A planet that supports so many amazing life forms, from the hardy oak and pine tree to the most delicate flower, from the huge blue whale to the tiniest insect. A planet that has created an extraordinarily intelligent animal, an animal that has invented technology that allows us to descend to the depths of the ocean and allows us to travel into space in order to take these amazing photographs of our home, our only home. For although there may be another planet that can support life as we know it, that planet is far away and for now unreachable and unknowable. Planet Earth is almost certainly the only home we shall ever know. So how is it possible that despite our wonderful brains, we are destroying this beautiful home of ours? Clearly, our intellect has led us astray. We've forgotten wisdom. It's only, I think, when head and heart work in harmony that we can truly attain our full human potential. I just hope that seeing these fantastic and unforgettable images will help people understand the urgency of working together to restore that which we have destroyed, to heal the wounds we have inflicted on planet Earth, a beautiful blue and green home.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks Cynthia for this wonderful video. Well, definitely, as we were discussing, Bangladesh and France has a historic partnership. So how do you see this partnership to go beyond this development cooperation, and how would you describe in the broader Bangladesh-French partnership?
It's true that the most visible part of the relationship between Bangladesh and France is mainly through AFD's contribution and projects, but there are many more. There are many more ways to collaborate and cooperate, and I think what is important to say here is that France and Bangladesh share the same vision of the world, the same global vision of the world. We have the same global strategy because I think both the countries have faith, I would even say, in multilateralism. And this is very important for France, and I think this is also very important for Bangladesh because in a world where everything is a bit chaotic, uncertain, and you have crisis, no country can stand alone. No country can face and address all these challenges alone. So cooperation, multilateralism is very important, and I think here, first, France and Bangladesh meet on this vision of the world. And to go a little bit deeper in the bilateral relationship, I would say we have mutual interests. France, of course, can be the gateway for Bangladesh to Europe markets, to Europe support.
True.
But Bangladesh also has their interest, and for France, Bangladesh is a strategic partner in the region because you are in the middle of very strategic position. You also have access to the ocean resources that, into bracket, you should also tap into more. So this relationship is very strategic, and the conclusion on that is that Bangladesh and France could and should prove that partnership is the way forward for humanity, and this we could demonstrate together. This I truly believe that. Now we have to find a way of proving it and showing it to the world.
Well, in next 5 to 10 years, where do you see Bangladesh and the partnership of AFD Bangladesh?
Can I dream a little bit?
No worries, envisage.
Okay. My ideal future for Bangladesh, this is what I really hope for Bangladesh and for the world, because again, Bangladesh for me could be the leader in many ways. I would say that if the investment in the green transition is really implemented, is really carried by the political vision, then Bangladesh can be the lab to many solutions for tomorrow. Actually, Bangladesh already lives in the world of tomorrow. And I would say I would be very grateful and honored if AFD could accompany Bangladesh on this path of leadership and for a more inclusive and more resilient future. There is still a lot of work to do, but now, currently in Bangladesh, you have a momentum for that. So you should really take it.
Cynthia, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on my show. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, she shared her visions, she shared her dreams and hopes that Bangladesh will definitely meet all the challenges, and she sees the future of Bangladesh, and she hopes that it will meet up the necessary needs that this country has to fulfill. First of all, she actually talked about the accountability that we need to ensure for the sustainable development, and how AFD actually aligns with the 100% Paris Agreement, and how the accountability is ensured, and how that helps towards the growth of the country. She also reiterated about the depth of the Bangladesh-France relationship, but also importance of long-term cooperation in addressing the other global issues as well. So she has enlightened us about the different development cooperation that's been going on between Bangladesh and France, and the historical relationship that we do have. And we are extremely honored to have her not only in this show, in this country as the country director of AFD. And we do hope that this cooperation will go very far, and it will have its impact on our development of friendship, on our growth. Thank you so much for coming into our show. Ladies and gentlemen, please do come back in next week with the other guest. We will come back again. So until that time, good luck. Allah Hafiz.